today I'm just gonna show you my predictions of the next European season competition season club competition season. Obviously the World Cup is currently going on, but but UEFA have done the first qualifying draw for the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League, and I've already predicted it because after the first qualifying round I can then do my mini draws after who goes through, and then from there I've got my league phases. So I've actually I have a Google spreadsheet of the teams, like which entry point they enter. I actually even have the coefficients I've added here, qualifying coefficients for the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League. Hold on, just making a fix. So I'm heavy on the spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. So this is, I'll show you who I've got predicted to make it into the league phase of the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League, and I'll show you my fixture list predictions I've been able to display. So in the Champions League, so if you're wondering how did I get to these conclusions, I'll show you some results later. Just hold on now. So my predictions, so obviously you got the teams that have automatically qualified for the UEFA Champions League, but I've predicted Lyon and Bodo Glimt from the main path to go through. Obviously this is only a couple of rounds, so where is it? Second. Oh, I see what I've done. I've done it okay. So where is it? Okay, so Fenerbahce, this is a real draw. These teams are versing each other. Fenerbahce v Konik Zabrze from Poland, and then Semgras versus Hearts of Midlothian. Anything past here is all my draw, a draw I've done. So I've got Fenerbahce, Semgras going through, and then in the third qualifying round, I've got all the away teams, so the seeded teams pretty much, because this is the draw. I mean, NEC could eliminate Olympiacos, could maybe, I don't know. Olympiacos is a tough team. Now in here, I had this is the reason how it became Bodo Glimt and Lyon to go through. I had Lyon knocking out Olympiacos, Bodo Glimt knocking out Fenerbahce. So those are the two teams I believe that will come out from the league phase. From the Champions route, they're all in pot for Dinamo Zagreb, Celtic, Lech Poznan, Celje from Slovenia. Yes, they've been on the rise recently in Europe, and I think they will do it. And then Lask from Austria. Now, their run, I think, where did Celje start? Celje entered the second qualifying round. I have them, so they draw up against Moldovan side Petrokub Hencheti, who went on to knock out Ignatia in the previous round, Albanian side. So I have them knocking out Moldovan side Petrokub. In the third qualifying round, they draw up against, I cannot pronounce that name, but Swedish team, Mjällby, who knocked out Lincoln Red Imps in the previous round. I have them knocking out, and then Celje have AEK Athens, which, I'm pretty sure they both, I might be wrong about this. I might be wrong, which I'm going to quickly, I think I'm wrong about this, but I swear, where's AEK Athens? Yes, they did meet in round 16. They won the first like 4-0 at home, and then lost the second leg 2-0. I think that's I had a feeling they had already versed each other. I remember this. Oh no, they won. Oh yeah, they did. Wait, am I? Hold on. Oh, they actually won 4-0 away in Celje, and then Celje won in Athens. I had a feeling they already versed each other, but they rematched in the playoffs, and I think Celje go on top. With Lech Poznan, obviously they entered the same round. No, they didn't. They entered the previous round, so they only had to go for 2 rounds. No, they did, actually, sorry. I have them looking at Danish side AGF. Yes, Danish side. No Midtjylland, no Copenhagen, AGF. Then Lech Poznan versus Kairat, who did knock out Celtic last year in the playoffs. I actually have Lech Poznan knocking out Kairat, even though they lose the first like 2-1, they win in Poland 3-0. And I think against KPS, yes, KPS, the Finland side, who knock out Red Star in my predictions, I have them going through. Dinamo Zagreb, they entered in the same round. They knock out Swiss side Thun, knock out Drita from Kosovo, and then knock out Shamrock Rovers from Ireland, who knocked out Viking Reykjavik from Iceland, knocked out Ararat Armenia from Armenia, and knocked out Floriana from Malta. So that was their run to the playoffs. Dinamo Zagreb pretty easy route for them. Lask, they entered this round. Oh, sorry. 3 teams entered this round: Viking, Lask, and Celtic. Celtic and Viking actually went up against each other. Lask, I have them knocking out Slovan Bratislava, who knocked out Levski Sofia from Bulgaria, who also then knocked out Flora from Estonia. So that's their run. Slovan Bratislava, who then eventually got knocked out by Lask. And then Celtic only had to play 1 game against Norwegian side Viking, which I believe they knock out. So that's the route of those teams. I'm not sure I'm going to go too much detail like that again. I just wanted to go in detail for these teams now. Europa League, this consists of teams that lost in the playoff rounds and qualified through the Europa League lost in the Champions League playoff rounds, but also won in the Europa League playoff rounds. So in pot 1, it would consist of Leverkusen, Benfica, Juventus, Milan, AZ, Olympiacos, Rangers, Fenerbahce, and Real Sociedad. Obviously, Fenerbahce and Olympiacos got knocked out in the playoffs of the Champions League. Now with Benfica, they're in the Europa League this year, so their run in the Europa League started against St. Gallen, which is again another real draw. This is a real draw. Real draw. So they knock out Swiss side St. Gallen 7-0 in aggregate. They then get paired up against Heart of Midlothian. They knock out the Scottish side, and in the playoffs they actually get Mjällby, Swedish side, and they knock out them. So they're in the Europa League. In pot 2, Marseille, Ferencváros, Victoria Pilsen, Michelin, Union Saint-Gilloise, Red Star, Belgrade, Salzburg, Karabakh, Sparta Prague. I don't think anything too crazy. Michelin also, I think, started in the same round as Benfica. They went, obviously Michelin made it to the quarters against Nottingham Forest. I might be wrong about that. I may have just... Normally I might be wrong about that. Maybe? I swear it was quarters, no? It was round 16. Never mind. They knock out Besiktas, who's an unseeded team in this draw. Real draw. And then they knock out Anderlecht, so 2 tough, pretty good teams. And then Michelin go on to knock out Iceland. Probably the most easiest team they get to face, but in the playoffs. Rangers knocked out AGF, Danish side. Just to mention. Then in pot 3, Slovan Bratislava, Rennes, Stamgraz, AKF, and Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and Sunderland. Now, in projections made by people on Twitter, the projections do... am I wrong for saying it? But I think Palace is in pot 2 from those projections. I might be wrong. But they're all in pot 3. And then Ammonia and Celta Vigo. And then in pot 4, Shamrock Rovers, who made it to the playoffs of the Champions League, fall in the Europa League, Hoffenheim, second tier side, Torrents, KPS, NEC, Sint-Truiden, Carvina, OFI, and Viking. Now, Carvina, I don't know if they've been in Europe before, but this is definitely their first time in the Europa League. Their route to here is knocking out Hapoel Beersheva, Israeli side. They fell. Wait, is that? Oh, they entered in this round. So if you see here, yeah, they entered, and then OFI also entered this round and also made it through. Same with Saint Truiden. Saint Truiden had to beat Trabzonspor. Oh my god, how did they? Damn, Saint Truiden. Oh crap, Saint Truiden must have been a seeded. Wow, they must be like that was a close contested fairs. And then OFI knocked out Kosovo side Drita. Now OFI, if you want to know where they are, let me go to Google Maps. This is, mate, if you get if you go on a away trip to OFI, I pretty much just leaked my ID. This is where they're located. Here, right? I'm pretty sure this is where OFI are located. Yes. Look at this away. I know what an away trip. Going to Greece and Cyprus is pretty cool. I mean Cyprus especially, but going to an island in Greece, mate, you're close. Pretty well. Egypt's nearby. Tunisia's nearby. It's a nice away trip. So, that's what the Europa League phase consists of, based off my predictions. I didn't also mention, pretty cool to see Como in the Champions League. And yeah, now in the Conference League, I'm not gonna go. I mean, I'll show you my league phase. Any shocks? Let me just mention any shocks. Oh, Rapid Vienna don't make it. Ludogorets, FCSB, Partizan. I think Lugano. Maybe Istanbul Başakşehir. Maybe. This one took so long, like, cause it's just typing all these teams. It just takes so long. But I'm pretty sure I had Istanbul Başakşehir getting knocked out. Yes, they had to draw against Anderlecht to drop down from the Europa League because of their loss to Midtjylland. So yeah, they don't get through now. League phase, they do it differently. They do 6 teams, 6 spots, not the 9 pots, 9 teams, 4 pots. So in pot 1 would be, again, if you support any of these teams, these are my predictions, and this is what your thingy could look like. Now, I'll be honest, it is kind of irrelevant. I'm trying to really, let me explain this after, because so in pot 1, Atalanta, Braga, Ajax, Copenhagen, Freiburg, and Monaco. I'm pot 1. I don't, if Monaco do go through, there's no way they don't get pot 1, I'm pretty sure. Now, I've just clocked something. I've got see this, at least it's not a major mistake. It's not. Copenhagen are still in pot 1. They were in the wrong order. Is there any, no, if Copenhagen make it, the only way Copenhagen don't make it through, how would they not make it through? I guess if it Benfica drop down and Rangers drop down, that's the only way Copenhagen, if they do go through, wouldn't make it in. These 2 teams will need to go in the Conference League, which don't see that happening. Then PAOK, Ghent, Anderlecht, Panathinaikos, Paphos, and Brighton sneak into pot 2. Rakow, Jagiellonian Bielefeld, 2 Polish sides, AK Lenak, Getafe, Hatbo Beersheva, and Drita. In pot 4, Lincoln Red Imps, Borg, Banja Luka, Bran, Vikingur Reykjavik, Kairat, and Trabzonspor. In pot 5, University Craiova, KI, Land, New Saints, Norgeland, and AGF. And in pot 6, Lillestrøm, Levski Sofia, Thun, Göteborg, Mjällby, and Eto Gior. Now, quick mention, I don't know if it really means something with the pots and that, like, because you're still, it used to be significant being in like pot 1 because you would verse a pot 2, pot 3, and pot 4 too. But now it's different because, for example, Inter, you're gonna have to verse one of these teams at home and another away. So to me, I think the pots aren't really, they're just there to like designate teams to, to even balance. I don't know, like I had just to designate teams in different sections. It really doesn't matter. Does it? Yeah, it doesn't, because imagine like PSG just win pot 3. I don't know, you decide, oh, let's swap PSG and Feyenoord around. Feyenoord are still gonna have to verse teams from this pot, 2 teams, and then 2 teams from this spot. So it doesn't matter. It's just here to designate the teams, I guess, and to show who's the strongest and coefficient to the weakest. You get me? That's the only way I can really explain it, because So yeah, um, I think that's what I need to cover really. Yeah, that was just my opinion on the pots. What I will say, maybe I think the most relevant pots, the most relevant for this is like the conference league. I actually think the pot you're in the conference league kind of does matter. Kinda. I think it does. Does it? Not it's Champions League, Europa League. Genuinely, doesn't matter which pots you go in. You're still gonna have to verse teams in your pot. You get me? Does not matter. You know, Benfica is still gonna have to potentially get versus Leverkusen Juventus. You get me? With the Conference League, I mean, I guess I think it's different because it's only 6 fixtures, and you need to get lucky. Like, if we're being honest, like Atalanta, right? They're gonna hope to draw one of these teams, right? They know they have to play one of these teams, but they would probably rather play at home. I think it matters which games are home and away. I think the home and which fixtures are home and away really matters, especially in the Conference League. I think it obviously matters in Champions League and Europa League. Like Como, mate, they probably wouldn't mind going away to the San Siro because they played there, but they would probably want. Actually, they can't go there. So yeah, I feel sorry, but like for example, if Como are going to verse one of these teams, obviously they're going to have to play at home against one of these teams, Como, next season. But there's a certain team. Like, would you go away to like I don't know, the Wanda Metropolitano or Camp Nou? You get me? Or you know, maybe you rather go away against those teams and then go play at home against Liverpool City. You know, that type of thing. And I don't in the Champions League Europa League. I don't know how much it matters, but it's obviously it's out of you can't really control it. In the Conference League, you have to hope you can get the right home and away fixtures. I think it really matters. Like for example, one of these teams, pot 6 team, ideally, right, you're probably on level with a pot 5 team, so you wouldn't mind going away, but you would try and like to get a home fixture against a pot 1 team. And maybe a pot 2 team, if possible. You get me? That's how I see it. But other than that, that's pretty much everything I'm going to cover today. I love spreadsheets. I love football and I love spreadsheets. I combine them, and this is what I do. I'm a spreadsheet man. I have these. Yes, these aren't my predictions. I'll be making predictions. I have a match prediction thingy. That I use. It's on my other season spreadsheet. You can tell on the top left. I do like power rankings as well. So yeah, that's yeah. I love spreadsheets. So this just did take a while. I'm not gonna lie. These two, the Champions League, Europa League took like 2 hours. This one took like an hour. So yeah, that's my European Club Competitions prediction for this upcoming season. Thank you for watching.